Okay, the Reusable Bag Princess. When Odessa Reusable was a beautiful princess, she lived in a thermoplastic castle and had expensive natural and synthetic clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Jetab. Unfortunately, the dragon Ditwit melted all her thermoplastics, burned all her natural fibers, and carried off Prince Jetab. Odessa decided to chase Dragon Ditwit and get back her single-use prince, Jetab. She looked all over for something to wear, but all her nylon and polyester clothes were melted. And the silk and cottons burned. She was left with only a reusable shopping bag. She put on the reusable shopper and followed Dragon Ditwit. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of single-use materials and waste in his wake. Finally, Odessa came to a cave with a large door that had a huge container of disposable facial wipes on it. She pulled out one facial wipe. Nothing happened. She pulled out two facial wipes. Nothing happened. She pulled out a handful of facial wipes. Dragon Ditwit stuck his nose out the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, and don't we all? Because they are not recyclable. But I have already eaten a whole castle today and have no room for you. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow and make sure you bring diapers, coffee creamers, sandwich bags, eye makeup remover pads, tampons, and individually wrapped crackers." He slammed the door so fast that Odessa almost got her nose caught. "Is it true," said Odessa Reusable, "that you can melt 10,000 pounds of plastic with your fiery breath?" "Oh yes," said Ditwit, and he took a huge deep breath and breathed out so much fire that he melted 50,000 pounds of plastic, releasing all sorts of toxins and making the air so thick with black and gray smoke that Odessa could barely see. "Fantastic," said Odessa, and the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire he melted 1,000,000 pounds of plastic, releasing even more toxins and making the air so thick with black and gray smoke that Odessa couldn't see the reusable bag inches below her nose. "Magnificent," said Odessa, and the dragon took another huge breath, but this time nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to burn a single Q-tip. Odessa Reusable said, "Dragon, is it true that you can recycle most of the thermoplastics that you melt if they were properly manufactured instead of tossing them on the ground or dropping them in waterways?" "Why, yes," said the dragon, and he jumped up and gathered polyamides, polyethylenes, polypropylenes, and polyvinyl chlorides. And tried to figure out which ones to place in the recycling bin. He was very tired when he was finished, but Odessa shouted, "Fantastic, do it again!" So the dragon jumped up and gathered baby wipes and sanitary pads, dollar store guns, candy bars wrapped up neatly, toothpicks and straws. He explained that if we didn't individually wrap goods, made products out of singular materials instead of multiple materials, and chose products that had more reuse options, then there wouldn't be so much waste. If we had better domestic recycling capacities and more circular economies, then he wouldn't feel the need to melt and burn so many items. He was so tired after all of the recycling and discourse on improved manufacturing and waste management that he fell fast asleep. Odessa whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." Ditwits didn't move. She lifted up the dragon's ears and shouted, "Hey, dragon!" But he was so tired from all the environmental rhetoric and confusing recycling efforts that he simply stayed asleep. Odessa walked right over the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Jetable. He looked at her and said, "Boy, you look reused. You smell like previous grocery shops. Your legs have not been shaved with disposable razors. And obviously, you have not reused numerous tiny hotel shampoo bottles. And you are wearing a reusable shopping bag." Come back when you have wasted at least something wrapped and are wearing a polyethylene low-density shopping bag. "Jetable," said Odessa, your clothes are not recyclable, your facial wipes do not degrade, and you do not care if the manufacturers do not have to produce responsibly. You look like a prince, but you are an environmental detriment. The princess decided that they would not get married after all. The princess turned to Dragon Ditwits, woke him up, and said, "Thank you," for opening her eyes. She gave him a kiss, and he turned into an environmental prince.